This one. We good? Let's try that again. Good morning and welcome to the LSU's 299th commencement exercises. I am F. King Alexander, president of LSU, and to open our ceremony, I invite you to please rise or remain standing for our national anthem, sung by Mr. Kyrie Wilson, who is graduating. He just told me a couple years, so he's a doctoral student with a musical arts degree. Mr. Wilson will be accompanied by the LSU Brass Quintet. Kyrie.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glad, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
At this time, I ask that you join me in a moment of silence in honor of the LSU students, faculty, and staff who passed away during the summer semester, including 3 of our recently graduated exceptional young women who died in a tragic helicopter crash off the coast of Florida. Thank you. Please be seated. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce a few of the members of our platform party. Please stand as I call your name. Mr. Ramey Starnes, LSU Board of Supervisors. Mr. Jay Blosman, LSU Board of Supervisors. Miss Mary Warner, LSU Board of Supervisors and Chair-elect. Miss Valencia Jones, LSU Board of Supervisors. Mr. Wayne Brown, LSU Board of Supervisors. Mr. James Williams, Chairman of the LSU Board of Supervisors and today's commencement speaker. Dr. Mandy Lopez, Vice President of the Faculty Senate. Mr. William Jewell, Student Body President. Miss Rachel Henry, President of the Staff Senate. Other members of our leadership team, Dr. Stacy Haney, Executive Vice President and Provost. Dr. Dan Lizell, Executive Vice President for Finance and Administration. Dr. Jane Cassidy, Senior Vice Provost. Dr. Derek Riveras, Vice Provost of Diversity. Dr. Sasha Thackleberry, Vice Provost of Digital and Continuing Education. Ms. Christine Sanders, Interim Vice President of Strategic Communications. Dr. Jeremy Shen, Vice President for Student Life and Enrollment. Dr. Sam Bentley, Vice President for Research and Economic Development. Dr. William Richardson, Vice President for Agriculture. Dr. Malcolm Richardson, Interim Dean of the Graduate School. Mr. Cliff Van Oy, President and CEO of the LSU Alumni Association. Please join me in welcoming our platform party. Please be seated. While we are here today to honor our graduates, it's very important for us to recognize that the road that has brought us these students at this moment was not traveled alone. There are so many individuals who provided assistance, guidance, and encouragement on their path to success. Prior to celebrating, these recent graduates, I'd like to recognize all the parents, grandparents, spouses, children, and other honored guests who are here to celebrate this wonderful achievement. We applaud not only your loved one's success, but also your tireless support along the way of this important family milestone. Please stand if you are a parent, grandparent, spouse, family member, or special guest, and to be recognized for your vitally important role in today's event. I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize a very important group of people, our faculty, who represent the critical part to acquiring high-quality, world-class degrees from LSU. Our university faculty are not just exceptional scholars, scientists, and internationally renowned researchers. They are also skilled educators who are committed to providing an excellent foundation to every single student that crosses their path. I now ask that our faculty please stand to be specially recognized. Now, some demographics about this special class of 629. Today, almost 630 will walk across the stage. 322 are bachelor's degrees. 307 are graduate degrees. This class represents the highest number of doctoral degrees ever awarded at a summer graduation ceremony in LSU's history at commencement. It represents the highest number of graduate degrees awarded to African American students in any summer commencement. It represents the highest number of doctoral degrees ever awarded to Asian American students in a summer commencement. And it ties the record for the number of graduate degrees awarded to Hispanic students at an LSU summer commencement. 291 of these graduates are men, 338 are women. They represent 38 parishes in Louisiana, 35 states, and 35 countries, ranging from Afghanistan to Uganda. Our graduates in age range from 19 to 48 years old, while our oldest graduate today is earning their doctoral degree at age 69. And if you are a first-generation graduate or first in your family to graduate from with a college degree, would you please stand to be specially recognized by our audience? And if you are a veteran of any of our armed forces, National Guard, Reserve, or any of our armed forces, would you please stand to also be officially recognized by everyone in the arena? Please join me in congratulating this truly impressive class of graduates. Now I'd like to briefly address all those who are receiving their degrees today. On this special day, it is an honor for me to officially recognize you on this day, which is an important milestone both in your educational journeys and your lives. Ceremonies such as this, they began over 600 years ago and were created to signify to society that an individual has mastered an academic field of study. Fast forward to today, we're not only celebrating your academic mastery, but also present this important accomplishment to the Louisiana State University community, the state of Louisiana, and our great nation. While we are proud of your achievements as graduates, this day does not solely belong to those sitting before us. It is also reflective of the hard work, dedication, and talent, and intellect. It also belongs to all the families who have joined you today and sacrificed so much through multiple generations to see this day arrive for many of you. It belongs to the citizens of Louisiana. It also belongs to our outstanding faculty and staff and our over 230,000 LSU alumni and friends around the globe who believe in your capacity to make the world a much more vibrant, intellectually stimulating, and sustainable place to live for all of us. I'd like for you to take a moment to look around at your fellow classmates and keep this in mind as you do so today. As of today, you are among the nation's top 33rd percentile in educational achievement and success, the top third. For our graduate students today, you are among the nation's top 10th percentile in graduate degree success. Even more importantly, however, as of today, all of you will be among the world's top 7th percentile in educational achievement and success. In other words, the attainment of a college degree places you in an incredibly enviable position, both right here in the United States and around the globe. For our graduate students, as I mentioned, the top 10%, and it's even smaller internationally. The reason I share these facts with you today are twofold. First, to remind you of what a significant accomplishment this truly is for you and your family members. After today, your life will never be the same. But second, and more importantly, it also reminds you that as a graduate, you now have the solemn responsibility and the high obligation to all those who are in need of similar educational opportunities. It is up to you to help enable them to maximize their potential both as individuals and global citizens. As one of the world's most educated citizens with the greatest potential to help others, you now are being handed the mantle that allows you to provide widespread hope and opportunity. Through your individual and collective intellectual ability, you are needed to free others from the bonds of human ignorance and prejudice. You are needed to ensure that the next generation of children have more economic and educational opportunity than previous generations have had, no matter if you live in Lafayette, Lake Charles, Los Angeles, or London. The entire LSU family wishes you the best of luck in these endeavors, and we take great pride in all the outstanding things you will accomplish throughout your careers and lifetime. We have witnessed our graduates land rovers on Mars, write Academy Award-winning scores and New York Times bestsellers, be Pulitzer Prize winners, and lead Fortune 500 companies. That is the community to which you now belong and will forever belong. You will always be a Tiger, and your alma mater forever stands behind you. Now, let me introduce our commencement speaker. When introducing our esteemed commencement speaker today, I want to point out an interesting fact that was recently brought to my attention. It was exactly 24 years ago, on August 2nd, 1995, that Mr. James Williams walked across this very stage and received his undergraduate degree from LSU. James, I can't think of a better day to have you up here addressing our graduates. In addition to serving as chair of the LSU Board of Supervisors during this graduating year for you, in addition to also being a 1995 LSU graduate, Mr. Williams also received his Juris Doctorate, his JD in Law, from Washington Lee University in Virginia. Since then, Mr. Williams has become a distinguished attorney in New Orleans who is widely recognized as one of the nation's top litigators. In his accomplished legal career, he has proven to be a tireless advocate for fair and honest judgment and justice. Mr. Williams has argued cases in 15 different states and collected more than $150 million for his clients. In his career, he has also represented the United States Senators and the Chief Justice of the Louisiana Supreme Court. But he has also lent many of his talents to helping families and individuals who are in need of his assistance daily. In 2009, he took a leave of absence from his law practice to fill a vacant civil court judgeship in New Orleans Parish, having been unanimously appointed by the bench of the Louisiana Supreme Court. During that period, he was the youngest judge in the entire state of Louisiana. Since 2016, he has served on the LSU Board of Supervisors and as chair over this past year. We are thankful for his service to our state, to our citizens, and to LSU. Now, would you please join me in welcoming my friend, Mr. James Williams.
Good morning. First, I want to bring you greetings on behalf of my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors. You met them earlier. We are also privileged and humbled to be able to serve this great university that means so much. I want to thank our president, Dr. King Alexander. You know, I was very surprised when he asked me to be the commencement speaker. Last time I spoke to a group of students, it was freshman orientation, and it was in this building. And Stacy Haney, the provost, stood up and she said, you know, it's about going to class and working hard and making good grades. And then King Alexander gets up and he says, you know, I just want you freshmen to realize that you're here to get an education and you're here to learn, to be good citizens. And then I stand up and I say, you know, these are going to be the best days of your life. Go to every party you can, make every friend you can make. And, you know, King's eyes get about this big. And so I figured that they thought it was safer for me to talk to students at the end of their education as opposed to the beginning. I also want to thank and recognize and acknowledge our governor, who certainly appointed me to serve on this board, but who has really made a difference in higher education in this state. After 7 years and 16 budget cuts to this university, when John Bel Edwards became governor, he stabilized funding for higher education. We have not been cut, and in fact, for the first time in almost 5 years or 10 years or 12 years, we've actually received a net increase in the amount of money we got from the state of Louisiana. So we're grateful that this state and the leaders of this state are once again placing a priority on education, because this is truly the pathway to great things for our state. Obviously, I want to extend congratulations to each of you. This is quite an achievement for you and for your families. I want to especially acknowledge, I met the family of Stephon Sullivan today who's graduating. I ran into them at Lod Cook and they were so excited. And so we are just very proud of you and proud of everyone. As King said, I graduated on this exact day, August 2nd, 1995. I can't imagine, it felt like it was even hotter than it is today. I read an article not too long ago on the 20 best commencement speeches in history. And they all had one thing in common. They said a great commencement speech doesn't tell the students, you did a great job, or you've done so well, or we're so proud of you, because nobody needs to tell you that. I don't need to tell you to enjoy today. I don't need to tell you to relax. I don't need to tell you that you've done a good job. So a commencement speech doesn't do that. A good commencement speech tells you something today that you can look back on when you're in life and say, oh yeah, somebody told me that. If I had a time machine, this is the way I like to think, if I had a time machine and can go back and tell my graduation day self anything, what would I say? When I spoke at LSU Shreveport's graduation, I told them failure is temporary, so don't worry about it, just keep pushing. And I told the story, I'm a lawyer as you heard, and I told the story of a trial I was involved in where I lost that trial and that I thought it was the end of the world, but failure was temporary. Well, today I'll start with another story about a trial I had, and I'm a trial lawyer. I try cases in front of juries, and I'm in this one particular case, and the jury's sitting there, and one of the members of the jury is a nurse. And the case is about medical issues, and the star witness for the other side is a doctor. And he walks into the courtroom, and I'm looking at that nurse on the jury, and I watch her turn to one of her colleagues on the jury, and she taps him on the shoulder. She says, look, look. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is the star witness, and this lady is saying, look. So the guy testifies, and she's glued to his every word. She's tapping her neighbor every time. She's smiling and laughing. She's leaning forward. And when the doctor walks out of the trial, the courtroom, the juror looks at him and she waves, bye. Well, I'm dead at that point, right? I'm thinking there's no way that we're going to do good here. Well, at the beginning of a trial, you ask the jury if they know any of the witnesses. And so I said, I got to get this lady out of here. She knows the doctor. She didn't tell me. So I go to the judge and I say, Judge, we have to kick this lady off the jury right now. She waved at the doctor. She smiled at the doctor. She winked at the doctor. And the judge says, Mr. Williams, I really think you're overreacting. It'll be fine. And the lawyer I'm trying the case with says, James, I think you're overreacting. You'll be fine. I said, that's crazy. Did you see what happened? So the judge brings the juror into her office, meets with her privately, comes out and says, I've talked to this woman. I don't think there's a problem. Let's go forward. I said, did you see her winking and waving at the doctor on the stand? Can you imagine? No, Judge, we can't do this. And I'm screaming and I'm hollering. And the judge says, okay, Mr. Williams, I'll bring her back in. She brings her back in, meets with her privately, says, Mr. Williams, I've asked her more questions. Everything is fine. Let's go forward with the trial. I said, Judge, I just can't do it. Did you see her winking and waving and smiling? She's the star witness for the other side. How can we take this chance? I will never allow this to go forward. I am outraged. She says, I'm going to bring the lady in again, and I'm going to record the conversation. I said, that's fine, Judge, but we got to get rid of her. Then she brings us in, and she says, Mr. Williams, I want you to hear this recording. I says, okay, let's go. She plays the recording, and she says, ma'am, do you know this doctor? She says, oh, yes, I do. Know the star witness for the other side. She says, well, how do you know him? She says, oh, are you personal friends with him? No, but I know him by reputation. I know his reputation very well. I say, stop the recording. What else do we need? She knows the reputation. She's waving and winking and smiling and tapping on her neighbor. Judge, let's put an end to this. My colleague says, Mr. Williams, you're overreacting. The judge says you need to calm down. I said, y'all can't tell me. This is what I do. People hire me to come try their cases. I graduated from law school. I went to LSU. I'm big and bad. I know not you. This lady's got to go. She said, Mr. Williams, keep listening to the recording. I said, okay, Judge, but I don't know what. And so she keeps playing it. And she says, well, what do you know about the doctor's reputation? She says, I know he's a real jerk to all the nurses. I say, uh-oh. Then you can hear the lady on the recording starting to cry and sniffle. And the judge says, ma'am, what's wrong? And the lady says, oh my goodness, I sure hope I didn't mess anything up for Mr. Williams and his client. I say, Judge, this lady can be fair. She's the most fair lady I've ever met in my life. I don't know what I was thinking. The moral of the story is, I thought I knew everything. This was about 15 years ago. I've been a lawyer 20 years now. I thought I knew it. I was hot stuff. I was in the courtroom. I was big and bad. The judge, who's got more experience than me, is trying to tell me something. The lawyers who are working with me, who have more experience than me, are trying to tell me something. But I knew better, and I stepped in it bad and couldn't get out, and I lost the best juror for me on the jury. Now, fortunately, it worked out, thankfully. But that taught me something, and that taught me the lesson that if I could get back in my time machine and go back to August 2nd, 1995, I would tell my then self, and I want to tell each of you something that you've probably heard your parents say, your family members say, Lord knows I've heard my spouse say it. You don't know everything. It feels like you know everything. Now, you've made it. You have done quite an accomplishment. As King Alexander said, only 30% of the people in the country have a master's degree. 7% have a PhD. It's only 7% of the people in the world have a college degree, and it's less than 1% have a master's degree or a PhD. You have accomplished something most people in this world will never dream of. You got into LSU. That's not easy to do, right? You accomplished something most people in the world will never do. You got into LSU. No easy feat. You survived LSU. Look, Andy Dodson and Chris Abel, my fraternity brothers from college, can tell you surviving LSU is not easy to do. There's a lot of distraction in Baton Rouge. But you made it through that. Now, all of that success, combined with the energy of youth and the excitement of new endeavors, can create a false feeling, can create a false sense of confidence, not the good confidence, not the confidence that a tiger should have strutting around, but the kind of confidence that turns to arrogance. All of that success can create a feeling in you that you're done, that you've reached the mountaintop. But you have to be careful of feelings. There's a book I read all the time, I highly recommend. And in Jeremiah 17:9 of that book, it says, the heart is deceitful above all things. You can't give in to that feeling just because it's there. You have to know that there's a reason this is not called a conclusion. This is not a conclusion ceremony. It's a commencement ceremony. And that is because this is not the end. This is the beginning. Socrates said, the great Greek philosopher, said, education is not the filling of a vessel. Education is the kindling of a flame. LSU and this graduation today is a spark, not the end of the road. You take the foundation you have here, and then you begin your learning. Nothing in this world good comes from being stagnant. We know what's the one thing, stagnant water in South Louisiana, mosquitoes. I read an article about Walt Disney World and why there are no mosquitoes at Disney World. Lord, Disney World is the most perfect place on earth. There are no mosquitoes at Disney World, and they talked about why, and it's because all of the water, if you've ever been to Disney World, and there's water everywhere at Disney World, all of the water is moving. Even if you don't think so, even if you can't see it, they say it might be imperceptible, but all the water at Disney World is moving because stagnant water is no good. If you think that this is the end of the road and you stop here and you're stagnant here, you're no good. Mosquitoes will start circling around you and you'll never be able to accomplish anything that you want to accomplish. You can't be afraid to learn. You know, I started off facetiously by saying you don't know everything, and you don't. Which means go out and learn. When you go on your job, you don't know everything. Learn. When you go to the next step of your education, you're entitled to have a little swagger. You graduated from LSU, but you're there to learn. Whatever you go forward and do. I asked our football coach, Coach Ogeron, I said, 10 wins. A lot of people say overachieving. You've got your dream job. Is it time to shut down and take your foot off the accelerator and stop learning from what didn't go well last year? Stop learning from the day before? He says, absolutely not. We're getting better and better and better every day. Our Nobel Prize winning professor, Gabriela Gonzalez, who I had the honor to talk to for the last commencement. And I asked her, I said, getting your PhD from Syracuse, she's in films at the American Museum of Natural History. Do you stop there? How do you go from a PhD, from leaving Argentina to get a PhD in Syracuse? Do you shut it down there? No. You never win the Nobel Prize if you don't continue learning, if you don't continue growing, if you don't continue trying to further and advance your knowledge base and not doing everything. Wisdom is real. I know my mother who's here is probably sitting over there saying, well, now he realizes all of this, right? But wisdom is real. Socrates also said, the only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And that is how you should approach life, with an open mind and an open heart. Too often the issues we deal with on the Board of Supervisors, when we're trying to grow and move the university forward, and we encounter folk who are stuck and who want to say, man, if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. Well, I'm here to tell you, it can always be better. You can always be better. Things can always be better. And there's no more school of mass communications. You're done with that. There's no more school of music. The school you're going to learn from now is the school of hard knocks. And it's not going to be a boy professor. It's going to be professor experience. And learn from those experiences. Learn from those difficult times. Because the next time you encounter that situation or another person or another opportunity, you'll be that much better for it. But if you stop now and close your minds and hearts to this moment in time, you're going to miss the whole purpose of this education. You're going to miss the whole purpose of kindling that flame within you. Because the spark that has been lit at LSU over these last many years for you, that is the spark of learning. That fire that is being kindled, like Socrates said, it's just starting here. But we want to look down the line 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and see what that fire has grown to. But it's not going to grow without learning. It's not going to grow without wisdom. It's not going to grow from being honest and candid and truthful about the experiences that you have. And it is only through that. It is only through continuing to always grow and try to get better and be good stewards of what LSU has given you and be good stewards of what you have earned from LSU. It is only by taking that, bringing it out into the world, learning what the world has to offer, that collectively we come back together and do great things. So I want to tell you, congratulations, but this is not the end of the road. This is just the beginning of your journey, Look, if somebody like me, for all the magna cum laude graduates out there, congratulations. For all the summa cum laude graduates, congratulations. For all the thank you laude graduates like me, congratulations. Because by being open to learning more, by being open to what the world has to teach you, you don't know where you end up. If I can end up standing here, and Andy and we called him Dreek in college, but he's Chris Abear now. But if I can stand here and have something to say, then you can too. Each and every one of you can. You're going to be the next Nobel Prize winner. You're going to be the next Pulitzer Prize winner. You're going to be the next great leader of this university, as long as you don't stand still. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. We are honored that you could be here with us today, and thank you for sharing your wisdom, your accomplishments. And Mr. Williams, if you know him, he's got a story for every one of those mosquitoes he was talking about. I know that the graduates will take your words with them as they start their journey and begin the journey that you talked about. So before we confer our baccalaureate, advanced, and professional degrees, I ask Executive Vice President and Provost Stacy Haney to introduce our university medalists.
Thank you, President Alexander. The University Medal is presented to those undergraduates with the highest grade point average among all of our bachelor's degree candidates. On this day, I am pleased to recognize a pair of university medalists who are graduating with grade point averages that meet or exceed 4.0. Will the recipients of the University Medalist distinction please join me on the stage? Laura Tracy is the daughter of John and Pam Tracy. Originally from Laplace, Louisiana, Laura is graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts degree in history from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. As a participant in the university's 3+3 program with LSU Law School, Laura is also entering her second year of studies at the Paul M. Hebert Law Center. She plans to complete her Juris Doctorate before pursuing a career in the District Attorney's Office. Congratulations, Laura. Chanel Trahan is the daughter of Kendra and John Trahan from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. She is a second-generation university medalist, as her father earned the same distinction many years ago. Today, Chanel is graduating with a Bachelor of Interdisciplinary Studies degree with minors in psychology, music, and English. After graduation, Chanel plans to attend graduate school in an effort to further her undergraduate thesis research on psycholinguistics and racial stereotypes in political science. Congratulations, Chanel. And join me again in congratulating both of our university medalists on their exemplary academic achievements with another round of applause.
We will now confer the baccalaureate, advanced, and professional degrees. For our doctoral students, the role of mentor is of critical importance. Typically ranging from 5 to 7 years in length, doctoral studies are demanding and require students focus intently on a particular area of academic specialty. A candidate's major professor assists by members of other faculty members, closely guides the student's research and writing, providing a trusted sounding board, both academically and professionally, along the way of this doctoral degree. Each of our doctoral students who crosses the stage today is accompanied by a mentor, usually their major professor or a representative from their department or academic program. That individual will assist in the hooding of his or her student with a doctoral hood, which serves as a symbol of a student's full membership into the fellowship of academia. Dean Richardson, would you please present the candidates for doctoral degree of musical arts?
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctoral of Musical Arts please stand? President Alexander, in recognition of the completion of all requirements for the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts, I am pleased to present these candidates to you.
Mrs. Jones, on behalf of the faculty, it is my privilege to present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Musical Arts with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto appertaining.
Congratulations. I ask our new Doctoral of Musical Arts graduates and their sponsors, please approach the platform. As your name is called, please come forward to be vested with your hood and to receive your diploma.
Shane Hunter Corvell, accompanied by Professor Mara Gibson. Clifton Gerard Crooms, accompanied by Professor Damon Talley. Unustian Arondonia, accompanied by Professor Joseph Skillen. Zi Young Lin, accompanied by Professor Willis Delaney. Matthew Peter Wood, accompanied by Professor Willis Delaney.
A round of applause for these recent graduates. Dean Richardson, would you please present the candidates for doctoral degree of philosophy?
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please stand? President Alexander, in recognition of the completion of all requirements for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, I am pleased to present these candidates to you.
Mrs. Jones, on behalf of the faculty, it is my privilege to present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto appertaining.
I now ask our new PhD graduates and their mentors to please approach the platform. As your name is called, please come forward to be vested with your hood and to receive your doctoral degree.
Jose Ramon Alonso Marenco, accompanied by Professor Witsun Prinyo-Watkul. Ryan Harry Avery, accompanied by Professor John Malone. David John Baker, accompanied by Professors Robert Peck and Emily Elliott. Robert Byron Baker, accompanied by Professor Jerry Dreyer. Rachel Lorraine Bradley, accompanied by Professor George Knoll. Jose Luis Brandao Delgado, accompanied by Professor Marlene Janes. Vincent Marshall Brown, accompanied by Professor Barry Keim. Shelby McCoy Bird, accompanied by Professor Frank Gresham. Angela Edwards Capella, accompanied by Professor Kim Skinner. Yu Chan Chung, accompanied by Professor Shea Villa-Vic. Mi Chen, accompanied by Professor Jane Garneau. Yi Fan Chen, accompanied by Professor Tammy R. Duga. Julia Elizabeth Clark, accompanied by Professor Tom Davis. H. Michael Clayton, accompanied by Professor Jennifer Curry. Wyatt Preston Clements, accompanied by Professor Costas Bush. Christina Kosich, accompanied by Professor Melissa Cater. Connor James Davis, accompanied by Professor Robert Peck. Tiago de Paula Lalis, accompanied by Professor Jong Hyun Him. Tenahandi Prasanti Deepika de Silva, accompanied by Professor Jane Garneau. Landon J. Douglas, accompanied by Professor Lori Martin. Benjamin Joseph Downs, accompanied by Professor Chad Seifred. John Lawrence Dryberg, accompanied by Professor Jeffrey Davis. Bennett Atta Jandu, accompanied by Professor Subramanian Sathival. Malaika Tahira Edwards, accompanied by Professor Keena Arbuthnot. Jasper Abarte Estabillo, accompanied by Professor Matthew Calamia. Sarah Petters Fletcher, accompanied by Professor Anna Long. Terry Oakes Galloway, accompanied by Professor Kenneth Fashing Varner. Jennifer Elizabeth Giovanni, accompanied by Professor John Malone. Micah Jarrell Glenn, accompanied by Professor Keena Arbuthnot. Melissa Jo Hamilton Grisdale, accompanied by Professor Anna Long. Laura Lee Heisick, accompanied by Professor Melissa Beck. Anjanette Victoria Holmes, accompanied by Professor Jennifer Baumgartner. Daniel Stewart Holmes, accompanied by Professor Jesse Allison. Amanda Jill Horvat, accompanied by Professor Joy Blanchard. Milka Jackson, accompanied by Professor Robin L. McCarley. Chandra Lenore Joseph, accompanied by Professor Edward Shahada. Hedong Gong, accompanied by Professor Zhishang Zhu. Mesa Marwan Kaskis, accompanied by Professor Thompson Davis. Rose Marie Kelly, accompanied by Professor Sarah Becker. Omoefe Joy Keo, accompanied by Professor Leslie Butler. Kelsey Marie Crafton, accompanied by Professor Jeffrey Clayton. Nipa Malsia Kumari Karupo Aranchije, accompanied by Professor Jane C. Garno. Yining Lee, accompanied by Professor Pamela Pike. Shuya Lu, accompanied by Professor Jian Wu. Quiling Liu, accompanied by Professor Fa-Wei Wang. Kai Liu, accompanied by Professor Shengli Chen. Mukesh Marhajan, accompanied by Professor Craig M. Hart. Yosef Zemede Mamo, accompanied by Professor Kwame J. A. Angman. Craig A. Marcus, accompanied by Professor Eugene Kennedy. Maya Matais, accompanied by Professor Matthew Calamia. Angela Fariso McCarthy, accompanied by Professor James Garand. Ali Mernejad, accompanied by Professor Kidong Park. Casey Meny, accompanied by Professor Sean Lane. Catherine Camille Moen, accompanied by Professor Melissa Beck. Oscar Mauricio Molina Ortiz, accompanied by Professor Mehdi Zedoni. Paula Mota Desa, accompanied by Professor David Vineyard. Momin Rajab Musa, accompanied by Professor Shekwang Deng. Ali Catherine Neighbors, accompanied by Professor Gaines Foster. Marma Aruji, accompanied by Professor Gerald M. Knapp. Vida Owusu Boateng, accompanied by Professor Solomar Otero. Biagio Palesa, accompanied by Professor Gabe Piccoli. Amy Lee Pine, accompanied by Professor Margaret Mary Sulentic Dowell. Jose Achilles Parodi Amaya, accompanied by Professor Jinwoo Choi. Donald John Pleshinger, accompanied by Professor Michael Cherry. Leah Duncan Powell, accompanied by Professor Richard Moreland. Sarah Emily Ragona, accompanied by Professor Michael F. Burnett. Quadranica Sharon Rie, accompanied by Professor Georgiana Turi. Verna Marie Richard, accompanied by Professor David H. Kirshner. Nancy Catherine Rubio Zapata, accompanied by Professor Marlene James. Paige Marie Ryan, accompanied by Professor Tom Davis. Santiago David Salas Ortiz, accompanied by Professor John Flake. Federico Samoraghi, accompanied by Professor Shea Villa-Vic.
Christopher William Schneider.
Christopher William Schneider, accompanied by Professor Wayne Newhouser. Pratik Sharma, accompanied by Professor Rajesh Narayanan. Kian Sheikh Resai, accompanied by Professor Babak Akbari. Cassie Elizabeth Shemek, accompanied by Professor Loretta Pecchioni. Adene Sese Ashinafi, accompanied by Professor Kenneth Lapada. Jacob Henry Smith, accompanied by Professor Jeremy Buse. Sorush Soroyorian, accompanied by Professor Kam Yu Liu. Katie Elizabeth Stanko, accompanied by Professor Emily Elliott. Michaela Patricia Stone, accompanied by Professor Kenneth Fashing Varner. Joel Edward Taylor, accompanied by Professor E. Ward Plummer. Michael David Tojay, accompanied by Professor Leonard Ray. Kurt Malcolm Trampel III, accompanied by Professor Milan Yakimov. Leah Thibodeau Turner, accompanied by Professor R. Kenton Denny. Chelsea Marie Owsley Tyus, accompanied by Professor Joan King. Chun Han Wang, accompanied by Professor Jane Garneau. Brian Kendall Watson, accompanied by Professor Martin Johnson. Stephanie Lynn Whitenack, accompanied by Professor Megan S. Sanders. Erlisha Jenkins Whitfield, accompanied by Professor Margaret Mary Sulintic Dowell. Kathleen Elise Wynn, accompanied by Professor Jesse T. Allison. Yaping Xu, accompanied by Professor Lei Wang. Xiuping Zhao, accompanied by Professor David Vineyard. Yiming Wang, accompanied by Professor Wang Ying Ding.
Rebecca Elizabeth Kerr, accompanied by Professor Jennifer Curry.
A round of applause for these graduates, please. Dean Richardson, will you please present the candidates for advanced and professional degrees?
Will all candidates for master's degrees and advanced certificates in the graduate school please rise? President Alexander, I am pleased to present these candidates who have complied with all requirements for their respective degrees.
Ms. Jones, on behalf of the faculty, it is my privilege to present these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon each of you the appropriate degree or certificate with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations.
Graduates, would you please approach the stage so you can be recognized with your diplomas?
She's running. Right.
Carlette Deshawn Dennis. Brennan Morris. Kevin William Hartline. Adam Dennis Rudd. Amanda Margaret Ullman Adams. Anna E. Dow. Hannah Lane Boutwell. DeChristian Wilson. Marie Rachel Lexidort. Felipe Viana. Rodrigo Clementino Denise. Angel Renee Tumbling Boyd. Christina Courtney Cope. Larissa Redunzel Davis. Ray Chen. Caitlin Lynette Harris. Erica Villani. Devin Michelle Chasson. Alexandria Juna Arsenault. Carly Ann Solomons. Taylor Mackenzie York. Ready. Todd Brandon Dean. Renata Gail Mouton. Todd Russell Johnson. Jason Anthony Prasolski. Rochelle Mullenix. Ellen Lucy Simon. Jennifer Lynn Truitt. Madeline Elizabeth Miura. Savannah Renee Morales. Joel Michael Ganji. Blaine Alexis Robertson. Emily Brooke Flanders. Christopher Joel Fellows. Richard John Madigan. Cheryl J. Anderson. Marissa Maria Rembert. George Christopher Cage. Olivia Maria Soler. Lena Spira. Jessica Tuyat Nguyen.
Tova Marie D'Amelio Cowan.
Okay, Tova Maria.
D'Amelio.
Tova Marie D'Amelio Cowan. Michael Anthony Gonzalez. Erica Shea Lewis. Johnson Leonard. Hunter Joseph Schaus. Patrick Lyle Scott. Tatiana Mello. Daniel Cardoso Braga. Claire Marie Kane. Sydney Epps. Kiamber Nicole Council. Shira Chanel Edwards. Jacob Benjamin Paramore. Gabriella Marie Paz. Amy Lillian Corder. Darion Chantel Johnson. Lee Thomas Rouse. Suhata Subedi. Atit Maharajan. Chelsea Elizabeth Dupuy. Bruce David Wells. Bianca Benton. Lisa Crosby Whipperling. Sarah Alexandria Nansubaga. Andrea Elizabeth Morales. Sarah O.C. Scott. Ariane Dokt Shamrasa. Aaron Caleb Iraso Padilla. Khadijat Ajani Gibson. Christiane Ricard. Zia Uden Ahmad Zihan. Ashley Cologne. Irfan Giassi. Quadranica Sharon Rie.
A round of applause for these graduates, please. Dr. Stacy Haney, Executive Vice President and Provost, will now present the candidates for baccalaureate degrees.
I would first like to introduce the academic deans and faculty representing the colleges and schools conferring degrees today. Please stand as your name is called and remain standing until all bachelor's degrees have been confirmed. Dean William Richardson, College of Agriculture. Dean Alki Solakis, College of Art and Design. Dean Richard White, E.J. Uso, College of Business. Dean Christopher Delia, College of the Coast and Environment. Dean Judy Warnat, College of Engineering. Dean Jonathan Earl, the Ogden Honors College. Interim Dean Roland Mitchell, College of Human Sciences and Education. Interim Dean Troy Blanchard, College of Humanities and Social Sciences. Dean Stanley Wilder, LSU Libraries. Dean Martin Johnson, Manship School of Mass Communication. Dean Todd Queen, College of Music and Dramatic Arts. Dean Cynthia Peterson, College of Science. I am now pleased to recognize the candidates for the bachelor's degree and the post-baccalaureate certificate. Will all candidates for baccalaureate degrees and post-baccalaureate certificates please rise and remain standing? President Alexander, these candidates have been certified by their deans and colleges. And on behalf of the faculty of Louisiana State University, it is my pleasure and privilege to present them to you for conferral of their degrees.
Ms. Jones, these candidates have been certified by their deans and colleges on behalf of the faculty of Louisiana State University. It is my pleasure and privilege to present them to you for the conferral of their baccalaureate degrees.
With the authority vested in me by the Louisiana State University Board of Supervisors, I confer upon each of you the appropriate baccalaureate degree or post-baccalaureate certificate with all the honors, rights, and privileges thereto appertaining. Congratulations.
Deans and graduates, you now may be seated. When instructed to do so, please follow your college marshals as they lead you to the stage to be recognized. The academic deans will now present the graduates from their respective schools and colleges. I now call on Dean Bill Richardson to present the graduates from the College of Agriculture.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates of the College of Agriculture.
Haley Melissa Hagedorn. Katie Broussard. Amber Nicole Smith. Carrie Louise Marie Bradford. Raven Lane Barre. Kiana McClendon. Jessica Catherine Greco. Paxton Claire Zarang. Charlotte Elaine Russell. Carly Melissa Galloway. Connor Brooks. Lindsay Ann Aguilar. Cody Michael Dewey. Morgan Elizabeth Gonzalez. Asia Han Yavunchu. Madeline Morgan Curtis. Monica Oliveras.
Thank you, Dean Richardson. I now call on Dean Alkis Tasakis to present the graduates from the College of Art and Design.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present the graduates from the College of Art and Design, but I'm afraid they already got their congratulations from Dean Richardson. So, congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Kasakis. I now call on Dean Richard White to present the graduates from the E.J. Orso College of Business.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the E.J. Uso College of Business.
Andrew Bryce Russo. Devin James Hammond. Olivia Claire Jen Lechner. Thomas Aquinas Kehoe III. Emily Jane Seeger. Christopher Cole Williamson. Kristen Rochelle Landash. Susan Gail Gansarsick. Jessica Marie Gay. Carter Philip Toms. Matthew Michael Jones. Gavin Alexander Terrio. Thomas Anthony McKiernan. Shane Matthew Kennedy. Jillian Nicole Wright. Nicholas Paul Dufour. Austin Blair Gayran. Corinne Michael Green.
You don't want your middle name? You don't want your middle name there? Okay, Stefan.
Corey Stefan Bradford. Charles Samuel Marvin. Brandon Abbas Mohammadi. Cayman Michael Angel. Edward Emil Burgard. Jessica Ann Gonzalez. Samantha Marie Abear. Thomas Ryan Cruz. Kyle Patrick Elliser. Amanda New Gwen Bowie. Evelyn Victoria Gallego. Eric Lamont Rosser. Elrael Latrell Williams. Naz Joseph Derensberg. Matthew Robert Brennan. Donald R. McIntosh. Jacob Dorsat. Yuri Vukoyevich. Luyang Shi. Carly Elizabeth Leday. Leonore Fanny Torres. John Vincent Eifler.
Thank you, Dean White. I now call on Dean Christopher Delia to present the graduates from the College of Coast and Environment.
Robert Conan Mitchell.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the College of the Coast and Environment.
Robert Conan Mitchell. Lance Kenneth Redlinger, Jr. Victoria Francis Nones.
Thank you, Dean Delia. I now call on Dean Mary Warnat to present the graduates from the College of Engineering.
President Alexander, I am very pleased to present the graduates of the College of Engineering.
Leighton Ove Eilers. Connor James Tiersch. Toluwani Manuel Amole. Michael Joseph Faust Jr. Mitchell Eric Fountain. Patrick James Kelly. Gracie Ann Hastings. Nicholas James Manley. Timothy Kyle Ratliff. Erica Michelle Lewis. Reagan Eileen Huval. Sean David Simmons. Matthew Brady Wolf. Douglas Carey Hoy. Samuel James Abani. Emily Victoria Meisel. Alan Ashton Williams. Grant Philip LeBeau. Andrew Ross Thornton. Jassim Mansour Arbalushi. Alyssa Catherine Hermish. Charles Guerriere Apanza. Ayman Nassar Asukati. Hamid Mohammed Al-Batashi. Al-Muhannad Mubarak Al-Halasi. Jackson Davis White.
Thank you, Dean Warnat. I now call on the interim dean, Roland Mitchell, to present the graduates from the College of Human Sciences and Education.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present to you the graduates of the College of Human Sciences and Education.
Jaira Anise Dark. Lindsay Renee Chauvin. Mackenzie Blair Allen. Preston Guile Caldwell. Jalal Nordine Alani. Latyra Jackson. Jawan Monet Nicholas. Tierra Rochelle Span. Michaela Ann Dubrock. William Harrell Arata Jr. Adam David Cook. Morgan Brooke Rosteet. London Cadell Jimerson. Kayla Marie Bujal. Brittany Nicole Blackwell. Chandler Cade Lemons. Nicole Lee Brashear. Rivers King Bruce. Grant Edison Amerson. Antonio Joseph Diaz. Taylor Vetrano Dunn. Jeffrey Scott Wittenbrink. Glendon William Durham. Sarah Elizabeth Peplinski. Rebecca Marie Schulte. Michaela Ray Schlattman. Julia Coulter Lee. Hannah Lynn Martin. Jonathan Wayne Giles. Kyle Devin Lewis. Jasmine Nicole Bynum. Michelle Claire Chauvin. Tyree Kennard Norman. Julia Gail Bachman. Dominique Mora Travioso. Sarah Elaine Cole. Elena Kathleen Curtis. Charles Joseph Madera III. Michael John Pilot. Trevion Honore Anderson. Sierra Lee McNeely. Chandrika Robinson. Rachel Rebecca Verrett. Cameron Alexis Allen Jones. Blair Christine Williams. Yukira Ashley Charmaine Hunter. Joseph Gerald Sparks. Shayna Natalie Yawn.
Jada Marie McGuinn.
Jada Marie McGuinn. Faith Antoinette Dejan. Emily Taylor Carpenter. Rachel Elizabeth Leday. Blake Olivia Robichaux. Ashley Elizabeth Rich. Brianne Ariel Roan. Logan Ashley Peters. Anastasia Camilla Alexander. Connor David Fallon. Nicole Jocelyn Haim. Macy Marie Berry. Anna Margaret Mott.
Thank you, Dean Mitchell. I now call on Interim Dean Troy Blanchard to present the graduates from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
President Alexander, I'm pleased to present the graduates from the College of Humanities and Social Sciences.
Laura Lynette Tracy. Chanel Rose Trahan. Nathan Roy Landry. Morgan Taylor Sharp. Carter Stephen Cuvion. Mia Lauren Sanchez. James Martin Cannon. Trent Michael Manning. Taylor Lynn Moore. Cassie Lee Sampson. Olivia Grace Kiger. Victoria Rose Rollins. Alicia Maya Franklin. Christopher Mark Lewis. Braden Mallory Miller. Clay Michael Benedict. Braden Hinckley Fahoko. Sean Andrew Pennison. Taylor Dry. Maria Hope Inger. Sydney Allison Hoffman. Raven Frost Creech. Kelsey Lee Jenkins. Joshua Adam Boyd. John Michael Parker. Sydney Jean St. Pierre. Jordan Paul Zarang. Lee Daniel Landry. Dejanay Chantel Arnaud. Abraham Haydem Jr. Arissa Kimberly Turner. Hannah Dale Duke. Alyssa Marie Rodabaugh Jackson. Brandy Michelle Nerns. Kristen Michelle Chedville. Lawton Andrew Perrette. Monica Raquel Cortez. Morgan Lucille McKee. Sarah Catherine Landry. Jarvis Devontae Joseph. Caroline Craig Haas. Jessica Lynn Bickle. Sierra Jade Thorin. Jeffrey Allen Eichholtz. Alyssa Dari Vitrella. Garrett Daniel Thibodeau. Brooke Ellen Fountain. Lindsay Bryce Benoit. Bisma Ilyas Bobat. Angelica Marie Jackson. Stefan Jermaine Sullivan. Rachel Nicole Misher. Justin Richard Benton. Sebastian Johannes Youngblutz. Raven Araceli Mouton. William Hartman Murphy. Mykesha Mayshay Mitchell. Dominic John Palmentier II. Lauren Elizabeth Abear. Brandon Paul Marcotte. Julie Nicole Schwest. Danielle Angelique Quintero. Janae Dontesia Jones. Jasmine Monique Delco. Seth Elijah Newsom. Marissa Faye Hampton. Aria Whitlock. Megan Ashley Berry.
Thank you, Dean Blanchard. I now call on Dean Martin Johnson to present the graduates from the Manship School of Mass Communications.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the Manship School of Mass Communication.
Ben George Hosford. Taylor Ann Berry. Megan E. Bales. Sophie Elizabeth Granzo. Brittany Claire LaFaso.
Thank you, Dean Johnson. I now call on Dean Todd Queen to present the graduates from the College of Music and Dramatic Arts.
President Alexander, I am pleased to present the graduates from the College of Music and Dramatic Arts.
Ariane Guidry. Callie Madison Fontana.
Thank you, Dean Queen. I now call on Dean Cynthia Peterson to present the graduates from the College of Science.
President Alexander, I am very pleased to present to you the graduates from the College of Science.
Lauren Noel Abear. Lene Jeray Shannon. Andrew John Bevelow IV. Allison Ann DeVille. Sarah McMillan Bam. Claire Frances Salapak. Charis Emmeline Davis. Samuel McWilliam Shorts. Julia Marie Dean. Philip James Gorney. Gabriel Adan Sanchez. Kevin Matthew Starkey. Lindsay Diane Drury. Jillian Ryan Judice. Alexandra Marie Thomas. Olivia Grace Nealand. Peyton Alexis Phillips. Ashante Alize Jones. Ashlyn Breon Washington.
A round of applause for our summer 2019 graduates. Mr. Van Oy, CEO and President of the LSU Alumni Association, would you care to address our graduates?
Indeed, I would, Dr. Alexander. Congratulations, and on behalf of LSU alumni worldwide, welcome to the awesome Tiger Nation. You are now an official ambassador for LSU. You've earned it. Now, the LSU Alumni Association has 135 chapters all over the world that provide camaraderie and fun that help keep that LSU spirit alive no matter where you live. This spring and summer, for example, we had chapters from New York to Miami, from Seattle to San Diego, and almost every parish in Louisiana. For example, we had 4,500 tigers show up in San Diego for 11 tons of crawfish. And yes, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records. Austin, Texas, Mardi Gras party, gumbo cook-off, and the best, which is a lot of fun, in Shreveport, Louisiana, the day before the LSU-Alabama game, they host the Boo Bama Bash. So you ask, what are all these alumni chapters and events all about? Well, we call them parties with a purpose. And our alums all over the United States and around the world gather to make that happen. over $5 million has been returned to the university for scholarships and outstanding programs. It builds incredible camaraderie, and I ask you to be part of that. The moral of the story is no matter where you go, the LSU Tiger Spirit is there. So be involved in your local chapter, network professionally with your fellow graduates, and become involved with the LSU Alumni Association. You'll be amazed at how fast you make friends and business associates. Now we're on that subject, something very important is going to happen this fall. For the first time ever, every graduate will be part of the LSU Professional Networking Program that we will introduce in the fall. So make sure you look for those emails. You're going to want to be part of that. You'll be able to build a network of people who are LSU graduates in your local community, in your region, state, or worldwide that'll help you improve your career as you go. So look for that. In closing, look to successful people for advice. Now, James Williams, although he found out he didn't know everything, has had a successful, great career. But he decided a long time ago he was going to be second to nobody. So now it's your time to show just how great an LSU graduate can be. Go out and get them, Tigers!
All those graduating today, would you please rise to be recognized? I'm pleased to introduce to you our graduating class of the summer of 2019. A round of applause for all of these graduates, please. And for Dr. Becky Kerr, who announced all the names and also received her doctoral degree today. Dr. Kerr has served this institution for many years, and we were privileged and honored with her accomplishments today and to honor her today as well. Congratulations to all of you. May success follow you wherever life takes you. Many thanks to our distinguished guests for joining us to celebrate the milestones achieved today and by our newest LSU alumni. Graduates, would you please remain standing in place until the platform party exits the arena. Now please make sure you're standing for the LSU alma mater, and I invite you to turn to the last page of your program and join Dr. Kyrie Wilson in the singing of our alma mater.
And broad magnolias, shade-inspiring halls. There stands our dear old alma mater, who to us recalls fond memories that waken in our hearts a tender